So I'm going to talk really quick about the tech giants, by which I mean specifically Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, maybe Twitter. So these are companies that don't have the best public, relations anymore. People don't really like them that much. Most people think that we should do something about them and that they're too big and that they're doing bad things, even though the specifics of what the bad things they're doing aren't maybe articulated that much, but there's kind of a general distrust for them. But there's also, I'd say, to generalize a little bit, an expectation that nothing is going to be done. As in, people don't really expect their antitrust laws to be enforced and for real action to be taken against these corporations in the same way that they don't expect that for really any corporations. And we have very low expectations for what's going to happen for price gouging pharmaceutical companies and their equivalents on Silicon Valley and the other corporations which are kind of sucking this country dry, which I think is which results in the apathetic nature for political processes in general, and why people don't trust Congress, they don't trust the media, they don't trust the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, but they also don't expect much to happen from it, and it's kind of leading to a lot of problems with society. If you notice, people are kind of going at each other because of that. But that's kind of a long tangent. I want to talk specifically about the tech giants and some of the things that they're doing. So what people who are defenders of these tech companies and also just defenders of corporations in general, usually what they'll say is, hey, these companies are providing a service to society that the public wants, and so nobody's making you search on Google, nobody's making you use Facebook or buy from Amazon. These are things that people want to do, and they're doing it of their own volition. And same with the workers. The workers, they don't have to work there, they're not slaves, but they're working there because otherwise they'd be under a bridge and they'd be starving. And so this is a benefit for them as well. And that's a view that I have a little bit of sympathy for, but not really that much, because what people need to consider is that it's not that the economic pie that was there previously just has a new slice added to it when Amazon comes in or these tech companies come in, but it's rather that the existing pie is slowly hollowed out by Amazon and replaced by it. And so that means that people know that malls have been shutting down across the country for years. I think half of existing malls are supposed to shut down by 2025 or something like that. And same with brick and mortar stores on storefronts and in the downtowns across small towns across the country. They've been shutting down, and that's been accelerated due to COVID, as people know. And I think 1 in 5 small businesses is shut down during COVID. And that's as a direct result of competition with Amazon in many cases, which has grown exponentially during that time period. And as just a quick aside, during the first 5 months of COVID, from I think it was March 18th to August 20th, Jeff Bezos' wealth went up by $92 billion. It almost doubled. And so that's the same amount of money as could have gone to the 876,000 Amazon workers in the US. They could have each gotten a raise of $105,000, or it could all go to one person sitting in his, house or in his mansion on Skype calls thinking about the spaceships that he wants to build. But that's just a quick tangent. And so really, the existing economy is replaced by companies like Amazon. And also another way that they do this is that they'll, when you search on Amazon, Amazon collects that metadata. And when people search for a certain item, here's a cool backpack, here's a small business that's making weaved baskets or scented candles or whatever it is, they collect that data and they're like, hey, we can make money selling them these products that we make ourselves because we have economies of scale and we use labor that's extremely cheap, and these small businesses can't compete with us, and now we know that people want to buy their stuff. And they're also selling on our platform. So what we're going to do is we're going to undercut their prices and put our products at the top of the list and put them out of business that way. So there's multiple ways that they're shutting down the rest of the economy, and it's having repercussions. And one of the main repercussions is the growth of these companies into extremely powerful monopolies which have political power as well. Google and Facebook have been doing the same thing in other sectors. And so people probably know that the newspaper industry, the local newspaper industry, has been shutting down and falling apart for years. And one of the main reasons for that is that classifieds used to be where newspapers got the majority of their revenue. It wasn't from the 25 cents that you paid to get the newspaper. No, it was from the classifieds. And that money pretty much went away overnight, mostly with the internet, but that's primarily, almost exclusively due to Google and Facebook. So 99% of all new digital ad revenue each year is going towards Facebook and Google. So it's almost exclusively going there. And that just means that the small small town newspapers need to come up with a new model, and a lot of them can't. So they either go out of business or they're bought up by bigger news, by USA Today or by the Murdochs or by Sheldon Adelson, or these giant corporations or mega billionaires are consolidating more and more of the media, which isn't super great for society either. And Apple will do the same thing to a large degree with their App Store, which is an absolute monopoly. Like if you want to have an app, you need to have it on the Apple App Store, or else everybody with iPhones isn't going to be able to get it. So Apple, what they do is they charge 30% of all the revenues for people who put their stuff on the App Store, which is like, what service are they providing? That's like, they're not providing any service. It's just they upload it to the App Store, and then Apple's like, okay, we're going to take almost a third of that just because we have a monopoly. And it's like, everybody knows they have a monopoly. There was just a report that came out from the House, I forget the name of the House committee that oversees them, at the end of 2020. It was called the Cicilline Report. It's like, hey, these are monopolies. These are classic monopolies. They're absolutely monopolies. And it's like, they're probably not going to be any action against them. The public wants action against them. Republicans actually do want action against them, like not the corrupt ones that are in Congress necessarily. But if you talk to regular Republicans, they don't like the big social media companies either. In large part because another thing they've been doing as they've been consolidating power is censoring people, which is a big problem. And the fact that a lot of liberals are for that is disgusting to me. But that's kind of another thing. But also they think that they're too big also, like regular people. So everybody wants action to be taken against them. Action is not really taken against them at the same time as they destroy the media, hollow out small businesses around the country, consolidate political power, undermine democracy in terms of free speech and the ability to talk on these platforms as they censor everything. Also, Facebook and these other companies, it's not a neutral platform anymore. They're explicitly elevating things that boost their own revenue. So Amazon will do that for their own products, but Facebook will always also do that with content. So they're going to go out of their way, the algorithm goes out of their way to make you click on content that angers you more, because there's more engagement there, therefore they can sell more ad revenues. Also, there's the advertisements themselves. So they're not neutral platforms anymore. And so that's another tangent. But there's a lot of problems with these companies. I think that we should break them up, and just wanted to talk about it a little bit.